everybody? It is DM Gaming, and you are here at our live version of the DM Gaming Morning Show. And I don't have the audio, y'all. I don't have the little intro music, that kind of stuff, because as y'all know, my computer, RIP, DM Gaming's laptop. But I digress. It's awesome to be here. I want to thank Timothy, for giving this idea uh, of doing it this way. We kind of talked about it in the live stream last night to do the DM Gaming Morning Show in this manner. Um, that way, people will be able to chat. Like y'all, it's an interactive live show. So if you're watching on YouTube, you'll be able to chat with us. If you have a PlayStation, because I am streaming this from my PlayStation, of course. If you have a PlayStation, then hey, throw in the headset. I could open up a party to kind of take calls, not necessarily take calls in a sense, but get y'all some time to get some airtime as well and stuff like that. So all of those options are completely open today. It's the DM Gaming Morning Show. Thank y'all for tuning in, and let's get down to it. So, Trevor, my man, what's up, man? So Trevor missed the live stream last night, y'all. He had some stuff going on. Happy birthday! I want to say it was your sister. So happy birthday to Trevor's sister. Trevor, what we're doing is because my laptop is messed up. Um, and Trevor is moderator. Chris, we gotta hold the I know you didn't say the actual word, but yeah, we gotta hold that to a minimum there, Chris. But yeah, live session. So man, I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Um and so yeah, Trevor, it was Tim's idea, kinda, he wanted to be able to chat and stuff like that. So I said, why not do a live version on the PlayStation? you know that way people can watch it on YouTube. Y'all can chat. We can kind of talk and get y'all's inputs on it as well. And then if you have a PlayStation, like I said, we can invite a party chat. That way people can talk and stuff like that. So Black Friday is coming up. No, Chris, I already have my laptop on the way. My laptop is already on the way. So anyway, getting into the news, y'all. Of course, y'all know the Patriots against the Buccaneers, and I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I really feel like the Patriots didn't win that game. Yes, Chris, I am going to address the Cam Newton stuff. Yeah, I am. Trust me, I'm going to do that. Trust me, I'm going to do that. But what's up, Army 2? But y'all listen. So the the Patriots and the Buccaneers. Let's talk about that for a second. I feel like the Buccaneers lost that game. I know that sounds kind of crazy. Well, of course they lost. No, I don't feel like the Patriots won that game because let's be real here. The the Buccaneers kicker. Oh my gosh, how many field goals did he miss last night? And literally, he made those field goals. We're looking at a completely different ball game. We're probably looking at the Buccaneers defeating the Patriots in Tampa Bay. But I digress. Needless to say, special teams played a big part in that. Jameis Winston came out a little bit cold in the first half. He did step it up somewhere in the second half, but still, the kicker, special teams, you got to win. I know people are going to say, well, they had plenty of opportunities to win the game. They had plenty of opportunities to do great things in the game. But here is the catch. Here's the thing about being a team. If the offense isn't doing good, guess what? The defense has to step it up. You see what I'm saying? If the defense isn't doing good, the offense has to step it up. And so if you're sitting in a situation where offense and defense is kind of struggling, guess what? Special teams always needs to be on point. This is a perfect example of how important special teams is to a football game. I'm going to go on a limb because the Patriots right now they're barely keeping their head above water. If they lost this game, which they should have, then we're talking about, or are we even talking about playoffs? You see what I'm saying? Antonio, that's exactly what I'm finna say too. Worse than the Trevor, right? Worse than the kicker that I had in Madden. Yeah, man. I mean, the kicker, it was horrible, y'all. It was horrible. And I really feel like the kicker, just come out and say it. The kicking game was horrible. Now he competed for this position, and the coach felt like he won this position. But here is where it missed me, and this is where coaching falls on part. The coach said himself that they only practice a live kicking situation once during the week. Once. This is the NFL. Why in the world would you only practice live kicking once during the week? I'm being so serious. So largely, yes, it's the kicker, but then it also falls on the coach. You got to get your guys prepared. Everybody know that special teams is extremely important. Extremely important. So one thing we have to realize is this. This is where I'm sitting at today, y'all. And I don't know. If y'all with me, let me know. If y'all not, just say nah. But I really feel like the Patriots, I'm going to be honest with y'all. I don't think the Patriots make the playoffs this year. I don't think the Patriots make the playoffs this year. I think this is the first time in a long time that the Patriots do not make. Because here's why. I'm going to say this. If they continue to play like they playing. Now, if they turn it around, okay, I'm going to eat those words. But I digress. The way that the Patriots are playing right now, they will not make the playoffs because Tampa Bay is not the best team. And they struggled horribly. Should have lost that game. And here's an interesting stat. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers went into that game with 1 sack. And New England went into that game, guess what? With the worst offensive line in football at this point. And that's why Tampa Bay was able to get about, 3 sacks, did they? So, I mean, honestly, the Patriots are not that good this year. And when they go against a good team like they did against the Chiefs, then they get knocked off. The Panthers, to me, better than the Buccaneers, and it showed. Now, it's going to be very interesting. The game that I'm ready to see is the Houston Texans against the Kansas City Chiefs, and y'all already know why. Because Deshaun Watson, to me, this is his proving ground. Because like I said, people say, oh, look what he did against Tom Brady, even though they lost. Oh, look what he did against the Tennessee Titans. It was amazing. But what did I tell y'all? How many times have I said it? The Patriots have one of the worst pass defenses in the NFL right now. They give up an average of 400 yards a game defensively. Now, the Titans are the same way. They're ranked about 28th. They're right there at the bottom as well. So anybody can come in and pass against them. You see what I'm saying? So that's interesting. And Antonio, I don't think that he'll retire after this season. He wants to play well into his mid-40s. So I don't know. We'll see, though. But needless to say, the kicker, he struggled. I'm not saying he's a bad kicker, but can you say that the game was on his shoulders and he lost them the game? I mean, I can understand him missing one field goal, but he missed several. You see what I'm saying? At that point in time, okay. And people say, no, you can't blame the kicker. Yes, you can. Why not? Everybody on that team at some point in the season is going to have the game resting on their shoulders, be it special teams, offense, or defense. Last night, the game rested on special teams, and they let them down. They let them down, and they let the Patriots escape with a win. A win that they should not have had. But I digress. Nah, it's amazing. But needless to say, it was a good game. It was a sloppy good game. Tom Brady still passed for over 300 yards and a touchdown. Even without Gronk, they found a way to move the ball on offense. And it was Patriot-esque type football, aside from the offensive line and defensive line production. So I don't know. What are y'all's thoughts? Because the comments are here. We can see them. Do you think that the Patriots make the playoffs this year? Or, I say if they do make it, they may end up being a wild card. Because right now, the Bills are riding high in that division. Trevor making jokes, y'all, because see, I was trying to kick a field goal. I had a game-winning field goal. It was actually a Super Bowl. No, it was the NFC Championship game in my dynasty. You can go watch it on the live stream on one of the past games. And I was playing with the Giants, and I had a kicker. Y'all, this kicker has been clutch for me all season long. You can see a lot of those games on the live stream as well. game-winning field goal, and he misses it. I was livid. Special teams are extremely important, man. People don't realize how important special teams are. You know, on the, I guess from a fan standpoint. Now, from a player standpoint, you know how important special teams are. Special teams can determine the tide of a game. So my question is, going forward, do they try to get a different kicker, or are they just stuck with this one? Do they keep this guy and give him another shot? You know, I mean, definitely it's not. I'm not gonna say it's gonna ruin their season. You know, it's still very early in the football season, but at the same time, you had a chance to knock off the Patriots at home, which would have did huge things for your franchise and for your season going forward. But yet instead, you lost the game due to special teams, and that's tough. That's a tough pill to swallow. No matter what you no matter which way you slice it. So y'all that are in here, what do y'all think? Do you think the Patriots make the Super Bowl? Yes or no? And also, since we're on the topic of football, what did I tell y'all was going to happen to Louisville this week if they didn't come ready? What happened to Louisville? Upset City. Louisville, in case y'all didn't know, was beat. And it wasn't a close game. Now, they did score there at the end, and they had a chance to come back. But the game, North Carolina State ran that. I'm telling you. North Carolina State ran that. And I told y'all, North Carolina State is a team that not a lot of people talk about, but they're a good team. They're a good ball club. And I told you, if Louisville didn't come prepared, what was going to happen, because NC State is not a team that you need to overlook, and it showed. My goodness, did it show. And it's one of those things, y'all, where Louisville probably just ruined his chance to make it to the NCAA playoffs. And Lamar Jackson, I don't know, does this game ruin his Heisman hopes? I don't know, and I don't even know if he cares. He already has a Heisman. There were NFL scouts at the game, and I think I like to say that they were impressed with what they saw from him. Lamar Jackson held his end of the deal, running the ball like he normally does, passing the ball the way that he does. Even after they scored, the game seeming to be over, Lamar Jackson going in for a touchdown towards the end of the game, and they had a chance to tie the game, but he threw an interception. Kind of like Jordan missing the game-winning shot. Kind of like my kicker in franchise mode missing the field goal that would have sent us to the playoffs. I mean, to the Super Bowl. But I digress. Kind of like the kicker from the Buccaneers missing those field goals that caused the Patriots to win. But needless to say, the Louisville Cardinals did lose to North Carolina State. And you can go back. I'm not making this up. Y'all can go back to the other broadcast, the podcast that we had recently, and you will see that DM Gaming said that if they don't come prepared, they need to watch out for NC State. I think I even put them on upset alert, if I'm not mistaken. Because NC State is a ball club not to be overlooked. They're not the best in the ACC. They're not the best in the league. They're not the best in the world. But they are a team that is very good, very sound, and they will sneak up on you. They have that capability. They have that capability. But I have to digress. What other upsets are going to happen this week in college football? What other upsets are going to happen in the NFL? Will we see the Houston Texans knock the Kansas City Chiefs off the ranks of the unbeaten? Because let's be real, Kansas City almost lost last week. They did. They almost lost. Close but no cigar. Can they be exposed? Can I play the game and someone tell me You can't hear? Oh, you in school. Army of Two, man. This the gaming show, man. Well, he can't hear, so I don't know why I'm explaining that. I'm not playing the game. I'm not gonna be playing the game. That's a distraction away from the show. The reason I have this put up, the reason why you see this on the screen, because it's a live show. And rather than look at my face, I'd rather you look at DM Gaming, the #1 podcast, the #1 YouTube channel, the #1 everything, because we are #1, and that's how we get down. And you in school, so I hope you're getting your studies. I don't want you getting in trouble. And I know he can't hear, so somebody please text him, chat, message Army of Two back, and tell him he probably need to be paying attention to what's going on at school. Because you know DM Gaming, y'all know, we don't play that. We don't play that. We don't want you missing your studies. Because it's the live show. Trevor, ain't you the moderator? I'm just saying. Come on, I'm going to need you to moderate, my friend. I'm going to need you to moderate. But in big news, y'all. Y'all know that I was going to get onto the Cam Newton stuff. Because I didn't break the news. I mentioned it yesterday. And then there was an interesting turn of events. For those of y'all who don't know, which I don't know how you would unless you live under a rock, Cam Newton made a statement in a press conference, in an interview conference, whatever you want to call it. A female reporter by the name of Jordan Rodriguez asked him a question about Devin Funchess. And I'm going to be honest, listening at her ask, I was like, wow, she know her stuff. No sooner than after I thought that, in my mind, Cam Newton comes out and says, wow. He said, it's funny hearing a female talk about routes. And the media lost their minds, y'all. Now, don't get me wrong. He was joking. You could tell by his body language. He didn't mean any disrespect by it or anything to that effect. But they drug him through the mud. So much so that he lost his sponsorship with Danum Yogurt. Now, is Cam Newton missing that money from Danum Yogurt? I doubt it. He's probably making 3, 4, or 5 times that much from Under Armour. But yet and still, this man lost a sponsorship. He lost money behind this. Now, that was very upsetting to me because, like I said, I didn't see anything. I will admit that, yeah, he probably shouldn't have said what he said. But at the same time, was it really that bad? Because let's be real, how many of us listening at her asking that question and the depth that she went with that question was thinking, wow, she really know her stuff? Is that considered disrespectful? Because essentially that's saying the same thing that Cam Newton said. He just said it in a different way. It's funny. It is funny. It is funny. Y'all, oh, DM Gamer, we're going to boycott. He's being sexist to women. No, I'm not. Listen to me. Let me explain this from a standpoint of somebody who has nothing to lose, who can tell you what's real. See, because I turned on the radio the other day, the Fox Sports Radio, Texarkana, ESPN Radio, Texarkana. And there is a show, y'all, that has women, and all they talk about is football. Amazing. Like, I'm being real. Like, it's cool. It's like a wow moment. Wow, that's funny. So when he said that's funny, I didn't look at it as him saying in a joking way, like, wow, I can't believe. No, I looked at it as like, wow, this is funny. Like, I can't believe, like, this is pretty cool. This is funny. This is crazy. Not crazy in a bad way. Crazy in a good way. But I digress. These women are talking football, y'all, and it blew my mind. It was interesting. I watched and listened to that entire show. Why? Because how often do you hear women breaking down the X's and O's of football? My daughter just turned 11. Y'all know her birthday was just recent. She knows a little bit about football. She knows what a touchdown is. She knows when we give up the football. She used to watch me play semi-pro. She watches her brother play pee-wee. She knows a little bit about football, but she doesn't know the X's and O's. She knows when he's out there or when I'm out there messing up. You see what I'm saying? But she doesn't know the X's and the O's. But how many of y'all have ever ran across a woman that knows the X's and the O's of football, and tell me that does not blow your mind? Tell me that you don't hear that and you think, wow. It's not sexist. It's kind of like hearing a guy that knows every single little detail about makeup, women's makeup and stuff like that. I mean, I don't know, you know? So to me, I didn't take it as sexist. I didn't take it as disrespectful. I took it as the same sentiments that I was expressing. Like, wow, she know her stuff. You see what I'm saying? But needless to say, y'all, they drug him through the mud. And then I said, what did I do? I made the post yesterday because some news came out that Jordan Rodriguez, he made some racist comments. What show is that, Antonio? It's down here. It's it plays on ESPN Radio, Texarkana, Fox Sports Radio. It's a show. I think they're out here based in Texarkana. I don't think y'all can get it where y'all at. No, this is the morning show. I think Antonio was asking what show was I referring to where the women are talking football. That's a show that they do down here in Texarkana. Okay. So then it comes out that Jordan Rodriguez had made some racist comments along the lines of such. One of the tweets said, the earth moves at 450 plus miles per hour. That's 10 times triller than NASCAR Dale Earnhardt, a B, she said the B word, and the N word, followed by the N word with the A, not the ER, with the A. Okay. So then she has two more tweets that said he's the best racist. Racist jokes the whole drive home, talking about her dad. Then she made another tweet. My dad is being super racist as we drive through Navajo land. And people called her out on that. People called her out on that, and she made it a point to say, oh, this was 4 to 5 years ago, but she did apologize. Now, the paper, the journalism organization, whatever that she worked for, did make a statement saying that they feel that she is truly sorry for that and things of that nature. I'm fine with that, okay? And I understand that it was years ago, but how ironic is it that you drag him through the mud or put him out like that, even made it a point to say that he didn't even apologize to me, and yet here you are with racist comments in your Twitter feed. You see what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? See, that's the issue with me. And Antonio, like I said, I didn't find it sexist either. But obviously, she felt it was sexist. I don't know. Honestly, y'all want to know my take on it? I think that they were waiting for an opportunity to jump at Cam Newton. I say today, if Brady was up on that podium and made that statement, the room would have laughed. Oh, Brady, you're such a kidder. But no. See, because anytime Cam Newton makes a mistake, they drag him through the mud for it. Every time. Oh, but look at Deflategate. Tom Brady's innocent. He didn't do it. I mean, come on, man. But you see what I'm saying? But this lady makes racist comments, and I said, I want to see if the media is going to talk about this tomorrow like they did Cam Newton. And lo and behold, I was listening to Mike Greenwich. Is that his name? Mike and Mike? It's not Mike Golick. Mike Golick Jr. I was listening to his show on ESPN this morning, and he did bring up the topic. And I was like, okay, good. Somebody's bringing this up. Somebody's bringing up the other side of it. But what did he do, y'all? What did he do? He didn't. Oh, my gosh. He made every excuse for it. He said some of the same stuff that it was years ago. Talking about high school this and high school that. When you got a Twitter account in high school. That girl wasn't in high school then. She probably wasn't in high school then. I don't know. How old is she? I don't know. But he made a point that I made as well. And I said this, that a lot of people, I said, well, DM, a lot of people are probably upset because Cam Newton is a big time guy. And this girl, this woman, nobody even knew her name prior to today, in a sense. I mean, people know her. I'm not saying it. I'm just saying in a professional standpoint, like the whole society of football. Nobody knew who Jordan Rodriguez was unless you know her. You know what I'm saying? But then I said, wait a minute. Because the minute that she made it a point to come out and say, oh, well, he didn't even give me an apology. Yesterday, Jordan Rodriguez, when this news hit what Cam Newton did, she instantly became a celebrity. There are little girls out there, their moms are telling them right now, you see Jordan Rodriguez, sweetie, you can be her. You can do that. No, so no, we can't play the whole role of, oh, she's not well known, so it's not, we shouldn't make it a big deal. And Mike Golick Jr. was even saying, because yesterday I listened to his show and he drug Cam Newton through the mud too. Mike and Mike got on there. And what did I tell you? Don Lebitard was on there on the Mike and Mike show, and he even talked about it. Don Lebitard, I applauded him because he was telling it like it is. He said the truth. There is not a lot of news going on right now. There's not a lot of news going on right now. So are we blowing this out of proportion? He said, I think that we're blowing this out of proportion. Simply because there's no news in sports right now. And so this is all we have to talk about. And he said a lot of good things, y'all. And Mike would not bend or break from that medialistic narrative that, oh, this is a woman and she's hurt. This is sexist. This is wrong. This is absurd. Get out of here. Cam Newton's immature. Man, whatever. They got upset when Cam Newton walked off the set at the Super Bowl. They called him immature. Let's be real. If you just lost the Super Bowl and you're sitting there and you can hear another player behind you talking that should not have been there, those players should not have been that close to each other, but they were, and you can hear them basically mocking you. Are you going to just sit there? Are you not going to be upset? Did he have to get up and walk off? No, he didn't. But how many of us would have stayed sitting there? And how many of us would even be in that situation in the first place? Not a lot. So it's easy for us to say what we would and would not have done when none of us have lost a Super Bowl. You get what I'm saying? But I digress. So far, I haven't heard, and I even listened to Undisputed because I love Shannon Sharp and Skip Bayless, man. I love watching them. And they both defended this woman. And I'm going to tell you why a lot of these people are defending her. Because nobody wants to offend women. They don't. What's up, Tim? Nobody wants to offend women. But let's be real here. Y'all want to be real? I've always been real. I'm going to be honest with you. What's worse, being sexist or being racist? I've never seen somebody get killed for being sexist. I've seen people get killed for being racist. I've seen and heard about blacks getting killed because people didn't like them. But if you were to rate it in our society, you would have black people at the bottom with racism. Let's be real, though. Let's be real. Let's be real. And so when people are comparing these two, I'm like, no. If you ask me which one was worse, her comments or Cam Newton's comments, I would 100% say that her comments were worse. Because you have had black men to get killed just by looking at a white woman. History does not lie. Emmett Till. For those y'all don't know who Emmett Till is, you might want to go look him up. Emmett Till, a white lady, this was years ago, said that he was whistling at her. They killed him. They drugged him to the point where his body was unrecognizable. See what I'm saying? Later, I think it was this year, was it? Or last year maybe? She came out and said that it was all a lie. This was years ago, y'all. So you tell me, in my book, in my eyes, in my world, I think that those racist comments are far worse than him making a joke about her being a woman and knowing routes. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, Chris, I think it was before I was born. It was a long time ago. But I digress. So I don't hear nobody, and this is what I'm saying. What Cam Newton said, was it wrong? In our society today, yes, it was. Do I feel like personally it was wrong or disrespectful? No, because I understand what he was saying. I understand what he was feeling because I was feeling the same thing. Like I said, how many of y'all have met a woman that knows the X's and O's? It is mind-blowing because society and the majority of women don't know about football that much. They may know the players, you know what I'm saying? They may know when there's a touchdown, but to sit there and break down a receiver being physical and getting in and out of his breaks and things of that effect, you don't see a lot of women with that. So when you hear those kinds of things, it is mind-blowing. It is surprising. And I think he spoke on what he was thinking. You see what I'm saying? Needless to say, y'all, I don't think it was that serious for the media to drag him the way that they did. You see what I'm saying? How is it that we can have a president that can deliberately be on film talking about grabbing women by their private parts and he's elected president, but this quarterback simply says it's funny hearing a woman talk about routes and the world turns upside down? I just don't get it. I just don't get it. You see what I'm saying? Only thing that I would have liked to have happened is that the same way that they drug him through the mud, that they drag her through the mud too. You see what I'm saying? That's the only thing. She doesn't have any endorsements to lose. I'm not asking for her job to be lost. But no, you like just same way y'all put him on Front Street, tried to ruin his reputation and stuff like that. I want y'all to do the same thing. And on Danum, let me get on Danum yogurt. Okay? Let's be real here, y'all, because we are being real. If I were to ask you who eats the most yogurt, what is your answer going to be? More than likely, women. Okay. Of those women, what race of women eats yogurt the most? Black women, Asian women, Mexican women, or European American women? You're going to say European American women, aka white women. I don't want to sound bad. I don't want it to sound bad, but this is the truth. Okay? So, why do you think Danum pulled their sponsorship so quick? In the same day. They didn't even look into it. They didn't even give Cam Newton the time to say an apology. They snatched that up real quick. Why? Because their major demographic of people, the foundation of their establishment, the money that flows into them comes from women. Man, is it making sense now? But you know what I say to Cam Newton? Cam Newton, you are better than Danum yogurt. You want to know why? Because why do they have a black quarterback as a spokesperson for Danum yogurt, a sponsor? Why do they have that? I'll tell you why. Because look, we already know their core demographic is white women, or women in general. Women tend to eat more yogurt than men. So what does a black NFL quarterback have to do with that? Nothing. No, I'll tell you what he has to do with it. Cam Newton was brought on by Danum yogurt to market to a specific demographic, the sport athlete and the blacks. You see what I'm saying? That's exactly what they doing. I've worked in business. I've worked in upper level management. I know how these things work. Cam Newton was brought into Danum. He was there for 2 years now. They had this guy for 2 years. He makes one comment and all of a sudden, bam, they're done. I'm done. Why? Because the women, which is their highest paid customers, was upset and they didn't want to lose those customers. So Cam, you got to go. We didn't need you anyway. You didn't actually increase the sales of black people buying yogurt. Because I'll be honest, I didn't even know Cam was a sponsor. I didn't even know they were sponsoring him. You see what I'm saying? That's why I don't care that he lost Danum yogurt. I think Cam Newton is better for not having Danum yogurt because they was only using him for his blackness in the first place. Let's be real. All right, Trevor. We'll see you, man. And so to me, Cam Newton is just it was just a prime opportunity. He plays against the Patriots. The great Tom Brady holds up the black power fist. And what happens to Tom? What happens to Cam? Everybody's, oh, Cam Newton. Soon as he makes a mistake, they were waiting. And I hate it for Cam because he gave them that chance. You can't give them the opportunity to drag you through the mud. And he gave it to them. Oh, did he give it to them? And they drug it. They drug it bad. Like I said, I really would like to hear in the media today. Now, they did. I will say this. People were talking about it. People did post it. But did they go to the extent that they did about Cam Newton? No. And what did I say yesterday, y'all? After this stuff came out, what did I say in the video? I said, okay, so what they need to do right now is talk about her like they did about him and then let it go because both of them was in the wrong. Same thing kind of like with Ray Lewis and Shannon Sharp. Like Shannon Sharp said, talk about him yesterday. I'm going to get my stuff out today, and this it. Let's let it go. No more. Because both of them in the wrong in a sense. You see what I'm saying? So, same way. You talked about Cam yesterday. All I want to see you drag her through the mud for her racist comments as well, and then let it go. We don't need to hear no more about it. But you're not really hearing that much about it today. Why? Well, you probably will a little bit because Cam did issue an apology on Twitter. But Danum still didn't give him back his sponsorship, whatever. I don't know about Danum yogurt anyway. And I don't think the people that did care much about Cam Newton in the first place. But still, there's the Patriots. The Patriots. All you're hearing about the Patriots game last night. That's all you're hearing about. I heard more on the radio today about the Patriots game than I did about Louisville getting upset. Yeah, yogurt. You see what I'm saying? And so y'all got to excuse me for being upset because in my eyes, being a black man in America, there's different stuff that I see. And while some people might not see the issue that's really there, there's a glaring issue that is there. There is a glaring issue that is there. And for people to sit there and say, oh, no, if it was Brady or Manning or Aaron Rodgers or somebody, no, it would have been the same issue. I don't think it would have. I don't think it would have. Because they nitpick. Even when Cam Newton was giving balls to kids in the stands, people still found a way to talk bad about him. They still found a way to say, oh, Cam Newton's he's showboating. They still found a way. And that's one thing. People will always talk, but they are nipping, trying to claw him down. Can a black quarterback be great? Can they? Can they? They tried to do the same thing with Mike Vick. Michael Vick fighting dogs. Boy, they lost their minds. He was fighting dogs. Fight dogs. They're dogs. I understand people love pets. I love animals. But how many of y'all get upset over killing a cockroach? Oh, it doesn't matter. It's a roach. It's a bug. Ew, kill it. What's the difference between a roach and a dog? They're both animals. So are you being, what's the word can we make up for that? Insectist or something? Animalist? You're being animalist? You're putting a dog's life over a life of a roach or a life of a spider or a life of a snake? You see what I'm saying? In some countries, they eat dogs and cats, and we keep them as pets. But I digress, because I'm not with animal cruelty either. But at the time that Vic went to jail for 2 years for fighting dogs, there was people who killed people and served less time in jail. And that's what's appalling. That's what's appalling. The NFL has a problem, and I don't think the NFL has a problem with them giving away game balls. It's just that those balls cost so much money, which the NFL makes millions, billions of dollars anyway. But those balls cost a lot of money. Like, we can go to the store and pick up an NFL-esque football for, maybe $20. Those balls cost them at least I think they're about $80 a football, almost, maybe $100. Because they're specially made for the NFL. You see? Drew, interesting point. I wonder how they'll treat him too. Even though he came out and said he was sorry. And here's my thing with apologies, and this goes for both sides. If you're not sorry, don't say you're sorry. I understand you're trying to save face. Because like with Jordan Rodriguez, she's saying that she's sorry. I don't think that she was sorry. I think the only reason you apologize is because you got confronted. Because it was still on your Twitter. Mind you, you can delete tweets. You wasn't sorry when you posted it. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. You could have deleted that. No, you're not sorry. You sorry that you got caught. You sorry that you got called out on your stuff. You made it a point to put him out there when you had been on Twitter doing some of the same things. Yeah, same thing I said, Chris. She was sorry that she got called out. She was sorry that she got called out. Cam Newton was sorry that he offended people. She was sorry that she got caught saying racist stuff. Now, yeah, it was years ago. But, I mean, what's the chances of her still making those types of comments around her friends when she's comfortable in things? Now, if you're doing it outside, that's all well and fine. But when you put that on social media, come on, man. You don't hear me calling for her job. But you're going to have people boycotting outside of Dallas, outside of Detroit, I mean, when the Panthers face the Lions. You're going to have women out there calling Cam sexist, saying that the NFL is sexist and all that kind of stuff. We're just living in a society right now where the tides are turning, where you're starting to see women take a more prominent role in sports. I don't have a problem with it. I like it. You shouldn't be able to delete tweets once it's out there. It should be out there for life. And it is, Alexander, essentially, because how many of us actually think to go back and delete their tweets? I was thinking about my Facebook today, and I said to myself, if people looked at my Facebook over the years, you would see a lot of good stuff, and you would see some bad stuff. You're not going to see me on there cussing or, nothing bad like that, but you see my true self. I don't hide myself on Facebook. But I got stuff on Facebook all the way back from 2006. I just don't delete. Nobody thinks to delete those things. We think that they go away, but they don't. They stay there, and that's the thing. And that's what Mike Golick Jr. was referring to. These things don't go away. And that's my teaching point to some of y'all young guys right now, especially y'all that are going places in life. Be careful of social media. Once they put it out there, it's out there unless you go and delete it. Yeah, Chris, exactly. Once someone screen grabs it, yep, it's there for life. Drew Miller, I agree with you. I hope that he keeps his head up through this whole process. And like I said, y'all, for those of y'all listening and upset, DM Gaming is just taking up for Cam Newton because he's black. No, I'm not. But I will stand with my people when I feel like they're being done wrong. And I called him out on that. I said it. He shouldn't have said what he said. In today's society, I would not have said something like that. I would have kept that thought to myself. But it didn't matter anyway because he laughed when she asked him the question. So they would have automatically been like, even if he didn't say anything, they would have been like, Cam Newton's disrespectful body language towards reporter Jordan Rodriguez. They would have found some way to spin that. I hope that he could bounce back from it. The man came out, he apologized about it. All I'm saying is that the same way that they drug Cam through the news yesterday, they need to do her the same way. But I'm telling you, they're not going to do it because there was big news in baseball. One of the players had a big night in baseball last night, and then the Patriots played it. So, that's going to take the top of the cake as far as news. And Louisville went down. Yeah, I agree, Drew. I think that she should have said something right then and there if it was like that. Now, she did confront him afterwards, and I would like to know what was said in that conversation, And I'm wondering right now, Cam Newton seeing the tweets that she tweeted, I'm kind of wondering, does he feel deep down inside himself, is he like, I'm kind of glad I made those comments? Or, because let's be real, she wasn't talking about him in her tweets. This was years ago. She only started working for Carolina the past 2 years as a beat writer for the Carolina Panthers. And if you don't know what a beat writer is, it's basically a beat reporter is somebody that goes everywhere with the team every day to report anything that happens with the team. That's what she does. She's been doing that for the Carolina Panthers for the past 2 years. And he doesn't even know her name. Does Cam Newton hate women? No, he has daughters. Come on, be real. Be real. You see what I'm saying? But I guess some people look at that as the same sentiment as somebody that's racist saying, oh, but I have a black friend. Like, no. And he tells his daughters that. I tell my daughter the same thing. Let me be real with y'all about something. I've got a daughter. My daughter wanted to play football. I told her no. Dad, I want to play football. No. You can't play football. And I said, well, let me rephrase that. You're not going to play football. You can play football. You can do whatever you want to do in life. But I said, let's be real. Those boys are bigger than you. Those boys are stronger than you. I don't want you out there getting hurt. And that's the truth. How many women do you see playing football? You might see it at the peewee level. You might see it at the high school level. But even at the collegiate level, it's rare, extremely. I mean, they might be a kicker or something like that. Why is that? Because football is just too tough. But if you tell a woman that she can't play football, then they take it as sexist. What you mean? I'm a woman. I can do anything. Okay. flip the script. And it's one of those things where it's just being realistic. Football is a tough sport. I'm not telling my daughter that she can't play football. She can play football. I'm not going to let her play football. Why? Because I know my daughter. And I know those boys out there. And I don't want her getting hurt. Football is not a woman's game. Well, I'm going to say this. Football with men is not a woman's game. Because they do have a women's football league. And I'm not saying that women can't get out there and play with the NFL players. But how many women you see lined up wanting to? It's tough, man. And it's not because they can't do it. I'm sure that there are women out there who can. But just by sheer physicality, men are stronger than women. And that's going to put the women at a big disadvantage. And for women that are upset about that, look at domestic violence. What is the biggest problem with domestic violence? That men shouldn't hit women because men are stronger than women. So if you go with that narrative, you can't turn around and flip the script when it comes to stuff like football and stuff. That's just being real. And I'm not okay with domestic violence. I've seen it happen in my own family. And even my wife now came from a relationship with that. I don't condone that. I don't like that. I'm not supporting that in any way. But that's what I'm saying. Our problem with domestic violence, that a man shouldn't hit a woman, is why? Because men are stronger. That's not fair. So how is it fair to say that a woman can play on the same football field as a man? It's the same system. She's getting hit. You see what I'm saying? And yeah, Alexander, that's true. Who knows? Maybe, and women do have a football league, and it's sexist. You don't see no outrage about have y'all heard of the lingerie football league? Oh my, it's basically women playing football in Victoria's Secret. How sexist can you get? But they still in business. They still making money. That's very sexist. That's sexist. That's exploitation. See what I'm saying? It's almost like they pick and choose what they want to be angry about and talk about. But a WNFL league, I'm not going to lie. If you had women actually out there in real football uniforms, not bras and panties, I would watch that. I would watch the lingerie football league if my wife didn't cut my head off. I've seen clips of it. I've seen it before. I hadn't been married all my life. It's pretty fun watching women play football. It is. It's cool. I watch the WNBA. It's fun watching women compete just like it is. It's sports. If you're a sports fan, you will watch it no matter what. Because you like sports. It doesn't matter who's playing, men, women, or kids. You see what I'm saying? But all I'm saying is you're not going to see a woman. I mean, there may be a woman who actually gets out there and plays a position in the NFL. But what's the chance of the NFL giving that woman a shot? Slim to none. Why? Not because she's a woman, but because how physical the game is. What player was that in a football game? It was in the NFL game. I can't remember who was playing. Maybe it was, I don't know if it was the Packers. I can't remember what game, but it was last week. He got sent to the hospital after the game having chest problems, chest pains. Turns out he had a bruised heart from a shot that he took in the chest. A lineman. What league is that? It's called the Lingerie Football League. Look, Antonio, finna go look that up. But yeah, he took a shot to the chest. Later on after the game, was having breathing problems and chest pain. Went to the hospital. Turns out he has a bruised heart. Guess where you get a bruised heart from? Car accidents. Y'all ever hear them say that playing in the NFL is like getting hit in the NFL is like being in a 30 mile per hour car accident? Yeah. That's exactly what it is. It's a physical game. And you see it on TV. You don't get the true physicality of the game of football by watching it on TV. Nuh-uh. You think the hits look bad on TV? You think them guys look fast on TV? Go watch it in person. You will be mind blown at the collegiate level and the professional level. It's brutal. It's brutal. But you know, like I said, you don't see women lining up to get out there. I don't know if I would be cool watching that though, you know, because I know how physical it is. Super fast. It is very fast. Now, for people like myself and others who's played college ball and stuff like that, who's played football all their life, even to the upper levels of college where most of us end our football playing careers and may go a little bit further to Canadian League or semi-pro, it's not as fast. But for the average person who hasn't been exposed to that, it is extremely fast. It's extremely brutal. It is. So all in all, like I said, I'm not upset at her for her comments. I mean, she made them. But my thing is, what the media needs to do, the same way they did to Cam Newton, they need to do to her. Don't use the excuse that, well, she's not a big-time person. She's not. Y'all made her a big-time person yesterday. But yeah, Drew, same thing. Yeah, it's hard hits on. It's nowhere near what you see in person. It is brutal. Some of those hits, you can feel them almost. You can definitely hear them. See, on TV, you can hear them because they got those microphones. But you picture being in the stadium, you can hear it. It is loud. It is loud. Yeah, it is, Chris. And it's not obvious on TV, y'all. Some of y'all may wonder, why is it not obvious? He's moving fast. Well, because you have a camera following these guys. When you're stationary, you can see just how fast they're moving. It is mind-blowing. It's fast. It is fast. Go to an NFL game in person. Go to a college football game in person. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about. It's fast. Like I said, for people like myself, I've played college ball, I've played semi-pro ball. It is not that fast to me because my eyes are trained for the game. But for the average person, it's extremely fast. And even for some college people who play college ball, it's fast. I played cornerback, so I had to have fast eyes. You see what I'm saying? But I digress. That's my rant on that. I ran it for a long time on that, but justifiably so, because I feel like the media today is not going to do that entire situation justice and not attack the other side like they did the one side. And like I said, both of them are wrong. Cam shouldn't have made the comments that he made. In today's society, he should not have done that. And she, coming up with that stuff, even though it was years ago, it came out. I think people should look at that and do the same to her like they did to him. It's just not fair. Oh, yeah, Chris. Oh, yeah, those players are huge, man. They're huge. You ought to see some of the linemen in the NFL in person. That you hear about these guys, their heights and their weight in the NFL, and you're like, wow, that's big. How can a guy that big move that fast? But when you see them in person, it puts it into perspective that these guys are huge. How can a guy being 6'4", 250 pounds run a 4.40? Oh my gosh. Can you imagine the power behind that? Can you imagine the velocity, the strength behind that? Can you imagine getting hit by a guy like that at full speed? I mean, it was mind-blowing when Vernon Davis came out and ran, what did he run, a 4.3, 4.4? People's minds were blown, and people were like, wow, we see 4.3s all the time. Look at how big he is. I, being a cornerback, would not want to tackle somebody like that. I'm going straight for the shoestrings. I ain't even going for the knees. Or the legs. I'm going straight for the shoestrings. I'm going for the laces. You see what I'm saying? When you see these guys in person, you get an appreciation for how physical the game is, how big and athletic these guys are. And perhaps, y'all, that's why we see so many more injuries, largely in part because of social media. Because before, a lot of this stuff wasn't reported on unless you went to the game or watched the game, watched on SportsCenter or something to that effect. But guys are so big and so much faster, but they're also stronger. But it seems as if the ligaments of athletes are not holding up as good as they used to. Because it's almost like the muscles have evolved, the bodies have evolved, but the ligaments are yet to evolve, and thus we see a lot of injuries. Yes, Larry Allen was a freak of nature. So you imagine how big and strong these linemen are to have running backs that can stiff arm these guys to the ground. Would you want to get ran over by a guy like that? A lot of y'all may not remember this guy. He played running back at the University of Tennessee. His name was Lennon Creer. He came from Tatum High School in Marshall, Texas. We played against him in football. This guy was huge. Lennon Creer. Go Google the guy, Lennon Creer. He broke through the middle on a run, and our free safety hit him head on. Our free safety got ran over, and he had a concussion. Yes, Leonard Career ran over our free safety and gave him a concussion. You know, I know some of y'all guys in the bigger cities go against these big guys all the time. We came from a small town. You didn't see the size. You didn't see that kind of size in these small towns. 6'4" wide receivers in high school, that was unheard of. We saw it when we played Tatum. And then playing against a guy like LaMichael James in high school, you see how small of a guy LaMichael James is, and it's almost unfathomable to think that he could run the ball in the NFL taking those types of hits. How tough did you have to be? Let's be real, he played in Oregon, but it's a little bit different in college. Guys are big in college, but they're nowhere near the way that they are in the NFL, because the NFL is basically the cream of the crop, the creme de la creme. And so guys are a lot bigger, a lot stronger, a lot faster, because they're getting the best that's available, essentially. And let's be real, at the college level, Michael James didn't get touched a lot, but boy, in the NFL. Yes, Adrian Peterson, Chris, perfect example. Adrian Peterson in high school was doing box jumps with 25, 30, 50 pound, 80 pound dumbbells in his hands. And while that might not sound like much to many of us, oh, well, I could get some dumbbells and do box jumps too. No, this box was very high. Adrian Peterson is a freak of nature. He is. My brother ran against him at a regional track meet one year. Athletic beyond no degree. Saquon Barkley, the same way. Saquon Barkley, running back from Penn State. When you hear about what these guys can do in the weight room, this guy, I think they said he power cleans over 400 pounds. Do you know how hard it is? I'll put it in perspective. You go to college and they have a power clean. Just about every college football team has a 315 power clean club. Because the 315 is like the upper echelon of power cleaning as far as collegiate sports are concerned. And this guy's doing 400. I'm going to tell you this. When I played at Southern Arkansas, there was a guy that hung clean, not power clean. See, power clean, you're pulling from the ground. This guy was hang cleaning. That means you're already standing up with the weight. All right, Alexander, have a good one, man. This guy was standing up with the weight, 375 pounds. Hang clean. Wow. 44-inch vertical. Just a beast. But guys don't see that kind of stuff. All in all, y'all, it's been an eventful week, to say the least. You got the Patriots pulling an upset against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And yes, it was an upset. Tampa Bay should have won that game. Tampa Bay was the better team. Special teams lost them that game. You had North Carolina State upset Louisville. Who else is going to get upset? Don't forget that Clemson has to play Wake Forest, putting them on upset alert. Miami against Florida State, upset alert. Michigan against Michigan State, upset alert. A lot of good football going on this weekend, y'all. A lot of good football game going on this weekend. Great time chatting with y'all. I really love doing this. I really appreciate y'all tuning in for this. Hopefully my laptop comes in. I don't think it's going to be today. It'd be nice if it was tomorrow. Probably going to be Monday or Tuesday. So we can get this show really going like we need to get it going. But that's all I got for right now, y'all. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Till next time, y'all. And God bless.